Hi guys, this is Brandon Marsh again. This is my last video for Module 15 for AEP 800. The program I chose is called Flipgrid. Flipgrid is a program that allows your students to utilize the webcam of devices and provide a verbal response to any sort of question that you pose to them. Now, Flipgrid is something I haven't used in my class quite yet, but I did get a chance to play with it a little bit at a workshop I did over the winter. And so hopefully I get a chance to play with it some more and utilize it kind of later this year. So Flipgrid is free to be a part of, and it's free to use for your students. So when you get to Flipgrid, what you'll do first, you'll create a grid. Grid is literally like saying creating a class. So if you teach multiple classes or teach multiple sections, you can create multiple grids, classes, and you can review their responses by class, by subject, whatever. On your student end, when they get logged in, it'll kind of look like this. So I'll give you the title of your grid, give you an assortment of topics that they can reply to. So these are a couple that we got to play around with. They're just examples of flip grids that people have already created. So again, there's like most of my last videos, there are a lot of pre-existing flip grids created that you can choose from in case you don't want to make your own. So we'll click on one of these just to get started. So you have the title of your Flipgrid, a little explanation of what you are wanting your students to respond to. So what this example is, they want the students to watch this video real quick and then wants them to apply the engineering design process to the problems involved in the video. So asking, imagine, plan, creative, improv. How are they able to help Mr. McGreeley to solve the problem that prevents the bunnies from getting to the garden? So just um, allowing them to think about what they just saw, think about information, and then giving a response verbally, which is a skill set that middle schoolers especially are not very good at. They definitely struggle with it. So once they review the material up here, you can even provide links to other resources. All they do is click this tap to record, pop up. You can see a record button here, different things you can do. Uh, and I believe it limits them for just a certain amount of time. So you want them to kind of think through the video first before um, they give a response. So it'd be good to kind of create outlines or a it's kind of a script. So all they have to do is click the record button, and so now it's going to record their video. So hopefully this doesn't provide an echo if I want to review it later in the video. So like I said, it counts it down here. And then once they're done with the response, they click pause. They can click next. Next will allow them to respond. All right. Oh, I'm gonna pause. All right. So now that's the video being submitted, and then the last thing they're gonna do is snap a selfie. Selfie just gives the teacher an idea who made the video, and so you just click, and then they can play with a bunch of different stuff. You can draw different things. You can apply stickers. I know when I was using this, we played around with this feature probably the most. So once students play around and they got something good, congratulations, they made a response. And then if you go back to your teacher page and you look on the responses, you'll see one video has been responded there, and then you can see the individual student's response. And here's a code that you would provide them ahead of time. So you can kind of review all the different students and what they responded. Students can also on their student page see these same responses, so they can create even more Flipgrid responses to existing videos to provide more depth and collaboration. in your classroom. So why did I selected this? The reason why I selected it is a great alternative to just normal pencil paper responses. It allows students to think about what they're going to say and provide and kind of be able to articulate what they would normally write down. I know a lot of times students will just copy paste or write down what they see out of a text. So this will be good to put in their own words. So the purpose is to give kind of an alternative assessment to a normal homework assignment or maybe even a test. So this is more of a formative assessment. My intended audience is definitely my students. They are the ones impacted the most are going to be using that, as well as teachers too, because teachers are going to be able to see kind of the response and be able to gauge kind of the levels of knowledge of what they're learning. So the two standards that fit this program is going to be 7A. 7A, okay, is the analyst providing alternate ways for students to demonstrate competency and reflect on their learning. Being able to verbally say something is definitely another way to demonstrate how much you know something, and also provide a reflection on what you're learning, or maybe you can go back and look at your response and reflect on that. So it's definitely good skills to have to be able to communicate and reflect. And then the last standard is 4B. 4B is a collaborator. The whole point of this is to collaborate. 4B is collaborate and co-learn with the students, discover and use new digital resources, and diagnose troubleshoot technology issues. So this standard is more geared towards the co-learning and collaborating with students. So the teacher is able to respond to certain videos and students are able to see that back. So we're kind of going back and forth, kind of like a tennis match with responses, and be able to kind of divulge and go deeper into the content. So that's my last video. Thanks for listening.